What is up, Matt Pratt here, and today we got another little project for Profits build. Right now we got a 2002 BMW M3. I'll tell you what, this is probably the cheapest one I've ever found. I'm sure they give these things away for free if they're in that bad of shape, but we got it super cheap, and it's not the cleanest thing out there, as you can see, but this is definitely an easy fixer-upper in my opinion. Let's go over the interior. I mean, we got, the first thing that you notice is like the tint needs to come off. It's got some crappy tint on it. The inside is a little trashed, and I will take blame for that because when I first got this thing, I couldn't get it started. I checked all the relays and the fuses, and eventually me and Miller kind of put a fuel pump in it, and that's what fixed it. There we go, more tint as we walk over to the driver's side. A lot of it's just a lot of dirt, grime from like sitting and stuff like that. It's actually like that all over the car. Look at the wheels, just a lot of just trash. This sucks. I'm gonna see if we can get this stuff replaced. All the trim is all dry rotted from sitting. I mean, the steering wheel, not in the greatest shape. Like the leather, it is pretty bad. But no major rips or tears, you know, this is just kind of acceptable, you know, for the age of the car. We do have some signs of animals probably living in here. I'm pretty sure there's a mouse crap there. What is this? Oh wow, that's weird. Everything's there, and it doesn't look like someone like screwed with it too much. The outside is the outside. I mean, taillights are faded or lenses are completely missing, but no major body damage. And these all look like they're the original quarter panels that were installed on here. So no signs of any major hit. Have like a couple dings and dents. This is probably the most major one. See like a couple little tiny ones here and there. No major damage. I mean, these look like the original door panels and stuff like that. But like, you know, the body's not in like bad shape. You know, I can't hate on that. This bumper's kind of screwed up. Huge chunk missing here. I'm actually comfortable repairing that. BMW has super thick plastic. It's in a decent spot to where I feel I could save it. That sucks. It's got a crack there. I think this is, yeah. These are aluminum hoods, so I might have to TIG weld that to put that back together. These vents are pretty cheap. The lights are gross. It's got some clear corners on it, which, you know, I can live with that. I'll probably smoke them or something like that, but I know I can sand these down and maybe re-clear them and make them look really good. You know, besides that huge chunk missing out the bumper, there isn't anything else major wrong with that. These all look like original panels. Doesn't look like the hood's ever been painted. Oh, I see a couple little dimples in it. Whoever painted it actually did a decent job. Looks like it was wet sand and buff. Got these really cool windshield wipers. This antenna's gotta go. 2 dings there. Yeah, the trim is like super dry rotted. I might be able to like clean that up or whatever. I mean, look how dry rotted this stuff could be. So well, let's get to the part that is scaring the hell out of us. So this is the part that is kind of confusing. If you look in here, besides all the specks of rust that are in here, well, this area is supposed to be white, and it's obvious that someone has painted all over it in here. These areas right here have been welded big time. I mean, look, you can tell that's been messed with all the way up here. Now, one thing that these cars are known for is where the subframes mounting areas on this car get destroyed for some reason. They're weak, they crack. Bring them to the dealer and they would glue them together, and it never ever worked. So then you'd find guys trying to do some crazy stuff like, I mean, that's angle iron welded in there. I'm pretty sure it's cracked completely through, and we're probably gonna have to like gusset it or something like that. So it's a legit 2002 BMW M3. Does have about 180,000 miles on it, which is kind of high mileage. Ooh, let's go to the engine bay. I don't know what all that crap is or that. Well, this is good. This ain't broke off yet. Well, he's got a few things done to it. I've had some animals eating on top of this, obviously. I mean, it's a pretty stock looking setup here, so nothing crazy that was tinkered with other than just that area. I don't know if it's had the vanos done to it. I don't know if it's had bearings or whatever they do to the underside of the car. So, but I do have a guy that can do all that for me. I think it's just a pretty good, somewhat stock car. We might have got a good deal. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what's banging around on the bottom of this thing. I mean, it doesn't sound bad.
Sounds way better now that you got a battery in it.
One thing that we did notice is, believe it or not, deep down in there is our gas cap. It's somehow stuck behind there. First thing I noticed is, oh, I gotta have to get a flashlight in here. I don't think this is supposed to be down this low. All right, let me see that light. This isn't good. Oh yeah. I tried doing something there, but it ripped. This, that's the floor.
Yeah.
And it's down here. And the subframe is mounted right there. This is supposed to be up there. So this whole thing's going to come down. We're going to re-weld this up there and reinforce it.
I hate to say it though, it actually, although it is a jagged break, it did break in a manner that
We can
go
fix
back
it.
together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Look at that thing. It's all butchered under there.
I guess that's about as bad as it gets right there, buddy.
Yeah. Wow. Holy moly. I actually might try to just get that piece.
The whole floor.
Yeah.
And so the reason why your filler tube is down is because of your neck.
Yeah, look at this.
It's pulling all of it's just on your filler neck.
Look, all this emission back here is broken. Look in there.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's been glued before though.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do a better job gluing it than that. Dude, look at this.
Oh my god! You did say they put something in there.
Looks like they glued it.
Whoa! Dude, you gotta come over here! There's fucking sheet metal screws in this bitch, bro!
Oh my
Oh my god! Somebody almost died in this car.
Yeah.
Legit.
That's
So I'd be willing to say that everything under here is sheet metal screws as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna just look up a new piece of metal.
I'm pretty sure that's probably your best bet because it's up there too.
I mean, I could salvage all that. We'll see what the price is. 'Cause once it's salvaged with a reinforced kit,
Yeah.
it's good. But that,
We need everything out of the way before you can really make a good determination, to be honest.
yeah, we're gonna have to let it take all this shit down. Before we start taking any of this stuff off, we need a screw jack underneath this bitch.
Yeah, you
If you think about it, you start taking that exhaust off.
That's the only thing that's holding it up.
Yeah. Miller pointed out the only thing holding this cross member up from hitting the ground is the shocks and the exhaust, which has been hitting right here and sitting. I don't know if there's dents from it. It could be. It's definitely been riding along that for a long time. That is crazy. I've never seen one this bad before. We got sheet metal screws here. That's insane.
Knock some of this shit off.
Give you guys a better look of the ugly. That is crazy. All right, we are back on this BMW. Worst case scenario BMW. Go over what me and Miller did yesterday. We got the exhaust loose. All the miscellaneous brackets and covers are done under there. I got the brake calipers out so I can drop the subframe and those aren't attached. What else did we get loose under here? I mean, all this stupid stuff. I don't even know what this is. This thing should be ready to come out in just 4 bolts, I hope. Gotta get these lower control arms out. The plan is to clean all my tools up, get this cart ready. I'm gonna throw the cart underneath of it. I'm gonna set the cart down onto the cart. Then I'm gonna hit all the bolts and that thing should drop right out, right? Sounds easy, right? Probably not. It's a BMW. Haven't did one of these repairs in a really long time. This is the worst one that I've ever seen, so I'm sure I've got some other surprises waiting for me. Let's find out. All right, I kind of forgot about the parking cable, so I started to take all that apart, realized it was pretty complicated. Decided to just unplug them from the handbrake inside the car, which is so much easier. Pretty sure I got all the bolts. I don't know, I think we're ready to lift the car up off of this thing, so let's see what happens here. Okay, that's still stuck on there, and I have no clue why. So, okay, there's 2 more bolts under there. I think I got them. Let's see what happens. Looks like we're completely loose. Just my e-brake cables are hung up in there, so maybe I gotta feed them through a little better. The drive shaft hasn't popped off yet either, so I'll get a pry bar in there and pop that. All right, that was not as smooth as I thought it was gonna be. Holy shit. Do not fall. Oh, that looks free. Woo. Something's hanging up somewhere. Oh, fuck. Stupid caliper. Are you kidding, dude? All right. Got that thing separated, and now we'll talk about what we're going to do to this floor. Let me get a flashlight so we can see what we're looking at here. It's pretty bad. In the front, we got some major cracking going on there, if you can see that. The reinforcement kit does cover all that, but all this has to be welded up first. That one's pretty bad. It looks like someone's tried from the top, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, all this has to be welded up, and then the reinforcement needs to be put on and welded up again too. If you look up here, we got some cracking up here. So I'm going to weld all that up too, probably brace it. All of this is cracked up. As you can see right here, it comes with a spring perch. All of this, this right here, I'll just point to it. Right there has to be reattached to the spare tire. Someone has been in this before, but they welded all the wrong pieces. And you come onto this side, even bigger crack. Look at that sucker. So yeah, can it be all welded back together? Yeah, it can be. Honestly, to do this car right, it needs an entire floor put in there, but that would be super costly. So I think that if I weld it up, that's gonna be a lot of welding. I gotta figure out ways to gusset it and to strengthen it up. That's what I really want to do too. So I've been looking at kits online. I don't know which kit I want to go with. And also has to be taken apart from the inside of the trunk and welded from the top too. That will help prevent all this stuff. So, all right, we got some parts that are going to help us with welding this entire floor up. Now, if you follow the E46 subframe floor problem, this is probably the worst that you've ever seen. It's going to be welded up like hell, but it's going to need some extra parts to make sure that it's durable. Now this right here should help that out big time. Now, yeah, replacing the entire floor is best, but if we can reinforce our original floor that we welded together with a big bar like this, I feel pretty confident that it's going to be safe. This piece that actually goes along the back, that's a mounting point that used to be up there, and this piece is actually, see that mounting point? It actually goes across here, gets welded all to there. Help this piece stay solid. Now you're probably wondering, that helps out the bottom. The bottom's hanging off the ground. What about the top? We're actually going to put some box tubing in there and mount this whole section to the box tubing. We're gonna mount the entire floor that we're saving. There's an inner piece in here. See that piece? It's actually gonna get mounted to the box tubing on the inside. Then we're gonna have some extra round tubing that's gonna connect from that to the shock towers. The next step to all this is actually taking out more stuff. I'm gonna take out this gas tank, take out all the wires and brake lines and stuff that are floating around. And we're gonna have to clean all this metal off. I gotta get all the paint, all the undercoating off of this metal, get it to where it's fresh bare metal, so I have something really, really good to weld to. And it's all just because of the thing rocks and rocks and rocks, and it's like a paper clip.
Yeah.
Or it breaks it out.
I mean, you can see how it failed.
People are gonna think I'm crazy for trying to fix it, but I'm such a super cheap ass.
You can see light in there.
So we gotta weld that up too.
Just a little pinch, yeah.
So from this thing bouncing around, the drive shaft and diff and smacking that.
Yep.
So this is the main support piece in the bottom of the floor that attaches the rear subframe to, and it was completely broken right here. Years of that rear cross member differential rocking back and forth, I mean literally broke this whole thing off. This was really important to weld this back together and get this together first. The rest of it is just a floor. You know, it does serve a little bit of support, but not like this is going to serve support. Now that we got it all somewhat welded up, I can now clean it up and put some primer in there, some weld through primer, just to help prevent whatever rusting I have in there. And then the next step is going to be to patch some pieces of metal in there just so we don't have these giant open holes. But right now we're going to flip it over and try to fit this piece on there. Would much rather weld that up out here than underneath the car where I got to weld upside down. Flipped over. What I got to do, button this up the best I can, jab a bunch of welds in here, trying to get this thing to stick together better. Take this piece, we apply it right over top. You see that? I mean, I got big giant holes here, but if I weld this piece on properly and right, it looks like most of them holes will be covered right up. Our main support is going to be even more supported for the cross member to wiggle. Trying to get to the fun stuff. I just welded the hell out of all this. Crack there, all welded up. This is the ugly side. This is where they welded before, and I've kind of welded it all back together and reattached it to our support piece that's underneath all of this. Big crack here that I took care of. So I took our brace and set it over top. Kind of gave an idea where I wanted to put it at. Tried using a yellow paint marker at first. That's where all the yellow is from. Just trying to outline where I need to make it bare metal. But then I took a can of spray paint and did it. It's good enough. So now I'm gonna clean all that off and then get some tack welds going. after 20 minutes of straight welding on this sucker, what's next? What's actually is next is, find my flashlight, is we gotta make that thing fit under here. Not only do we have to make it fit under here, I have to prep this entire area, make sure there isn't any more cracks under there, get all the surface rust out of there and all that. So it's gonna be probably another good few hours before I can actually take that piece and put it in there. So that's not gonna fit on this video. We're gonna end it right here. Make sure you tune in next week. We're gonna see if that piece fits, and yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, I'm getting out of here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and main thing is go work on something of your own.